The cuffs click shut around Maris Okafor's wrists. Cold metal. Hard snap. The room goes completely silent. She doesn't pull away. Don't beg. She drops her eyes to the two little girls locked onto her arms, and they are already shaking, both of them, before a single officer finishes the paperwork. The twins already know something the adults in this room refuse to see. Zara won't release Maris's left arm. Her sister Zola presses both hands deep into the white apron, grip tightening, breath breaking in short, uneven waves. Hi friends, welcome to our channel, tell us where you are watching from. I believe some of you are watching from the US, Canada, or maybe Jamaica, South Africa, or the UK. Drop your country and city in the comments section, I love connecting with you all. Dorian Hale stands 6 feet away. Blue suit. Both hands flat against the dining room table. Saying nothing. His wife Althea made the call. She pointed the finger. She already knew exactly where the money would be found before a single drawer was pulled. Nobody asked her how. And nobody thought to ask the twins what they had seen. Not yet. Althea Corin Hale does not raise her voice. Not once in 11 years of marriage. Not even close. She stands at the head of the dining room table, red blouse pressed clean, blonde hair not a strand out of place, watching the officers work with the same expression she brings into every boardroom she enters. Satisfied. Controlled. Already finished with this moment before anyone else in the room has processed it. Her father lost everything before she turned 12. Not slowly. Overnight. Men who called themselves his closest friends stopped returning his calls before the bankruptcy papers were filed. She watched every single one of them walk away without looking back. That changed something in her that never healed. She married Dorian because he was stable. Measurable. A man she could read like a balance sheet. What she never told him, not once, was that she tested everyone she kept close. Staff. Friends. Even family. Not for cruelty. For control. And Maris had been living inside that test for months. The envelope found in her room was not discovered. It was placed. But what Althea never accounted for were two small witnesses who had seen absolutely everything. Maris Okafor arrived at the Hale estate on a Tuesday morning in March with one bag and no expectations. No introduction. Just a name on a staffing sheet. She started before anyone asked. The kitchen floors were dry before the cook arrived. The twin school bags were packed and waiting at the door before Dorian came downstairs. The crystal chandelier in the main hall, the one every previous housekeeper had quietly passed off to someone else, had already been wiped clean by 7 in the morning. Nobody noticed. Every 2 weeks, Maris sent money home. Not a small amount. Half her paycheck. Her younger brother Tobias had been fighting kidney failure for 2 years, bills stacking, options shrinking, the kind of weight a person carries without ever letting it show on their face. She never mentioned it to a single person in that house. The twins, Zara and Zola, trusted her completely. Bad dreams brought them straight to her door. Fear always sent them looking for her first, never their parents. She never asked for that trust. It found her anyway. And nobody in that house was watching her. That was their first mistake. The dinner starts at 8 sharp. White linen. Crystal glasses. The kind of deliberate quiet that costs money to maintain. Maris works the far edge of the dining room, refilling water, clearing small plates, staying just outside the chandelier light the way she always does. The polished mahogany table stretches across the room. Everything is set perfectly. Everything is calm. Althea puts her fork down. One clean sound. The table stills. She doesn't stand right away. She lets the silence spread, slow, intentional, the way she has always let silence work, harder and colder than any word she could speak. Her eyes stay forward. Her hands stay still. Then she rises. $100,000 is missing from this household account, she says. Even. Measured. Like reading a weather report to an empty room. And I know exactly who is responsible. Her gaze moves across the room. It lands on Maris. The water pitcher in Maris's hand does not shake. Her face does not change. She holds a position with the kind of stillness that, in a room full of people who have already made up their minds, reads exactly like guilt. Dorian does not move from his chair. Does not speak. He watches his wife finish what she started. That silence, that single choice not to stand up, will cost him everything he thought he had built. Security moves fast. 2 men in dark suits sweep the east wing of the estate within minutes. Closets opened. Drawers pulled. Every surface checked. The search of the staff quarters takes less time than it should. Maris's room is last. The lead officer steps in, scans the clean, quiet space, single bed, folded uniform draped over the chair, one framed photograph on the small dresser, and pulls open the bottom drawer. The envelope is right there. Flat. Corners aligned. Not tucked under anything. Not hidden behind anything. Placed. 46 banded stacks. Counted clean. $100,000 exactly. Althea is already standing in the doorway before the officer holds it up. She looks at it the way a person looks at something they fully expected to find. Not surprised. Confirmed. Maris stands in the hallway and says nothing. Both hands at her sides. She doesn't ask to count the bills herself. Don't argue about the search. Doesn't raise her voice. She simply stands there, perfectly still, and that stillness unsettles every person watching. Why isn't she fighting back? The question moves through the room like a current nobody can source. The officers exchange looks. The household staff pull back from the doorway. Even Dorian feels it, that something about her silence is wrong in a way he cannot yet name. And then, downstairs, before the officers take one step toward her, the twins begin to cry. Not after the arrest. Before it. The handcuffs are already on her wrists when Zara breaks. She hits the hallway at a full run, bare feet on cold marble, and wraps both arms around Maris before any officer can step between them. Zola is 3 seconds behind her. Neither girl makes a sound at first. Just grip. Just pressure. Both of them holding on the way people hold on when they already know something is being taken that cannot be replaced. Maris kneels. Right there. Cuffed hands. Officers on both sides. She kneels to their level, presses her forehead gently against Zara's, and whispers something too quiet for anyone else in that hallway to catch. Her eyes stay dry. Her voice stays steady. She is comforting them when she is the one being taken. Dorian watches from the top of the staircase. His right hand grips the railing. His jaw tightens. He does not walk down those stairs. He does not say her name. He lets his wife's decision stand in the room like a wall he chose not to climb. That moment, that specific, quiet failure, is the one he will replay for the rest of his life. Maris stands. Straightens her uniform. Walks out without looking back. What Dorian cannot see from where he is standing is that the truth is already moving. 3 days after the arrest, a system alert lands in the estate's internal security dashboard. Nobody was supposed to catch it. A junior accountant hired 6 weeks earlier, a quiet, careful young man named Deshaun Alcott, flags it during a routine audit review. 1 timestamp. 1 transfer log. The movement of funds was recorded 14 minutes before Maris Okafor ever badged into the property that day. 14 minutes. He prints it. Sits with it. Reads it 3 times. Then he walks it directly to Dorian. Dorian reads the timestamp once. Looks up. Reads it again. The number does not change. He calls the bank. Confirms the record. Pulls the access log from the household safe, the private one, bolted behind the study wall, the one only 2 people in the estate have the combination to open. His name. And Althea's. Maris's name is nowhere on that document. He sets the paper flat on his desk. Althea appears in the study doorway within the hour. She scans the papers on his desk without asking what they are. Her expression holds. Steady. Unbothered. Accounting systems flag errors all the time, she says. It's not worth your energy. She turns and walks out before he can respond. But Dorian stays at that desk for a long time. Staring at a timestamp that refuses to move. The twins stop talking on day 4. Not to the officers. Not to the family therapist Dorian brings in on day 5. Not to their teachers. Not even to each other, at least not anywhere an adult can hear. They sit at the breakfast table and eat without words. They walk to their rooms and close the doors quietly. Zara stops asking about Maris directly. Zola stops finishing her sentences out loud. Dorian notices. He tries once at dinner. Soft voice. No pressure. Just their names and a simple question, does anyone want to talk about what happened? Zola looks at her plate. Zara looks at her sister. The therapist tells Dorian that children process shock through withdrawal. That it is completely normal. That he should give them space and time. He gives them 2 more days. On the morning of day 7, he sits on the floor outside their bedroom door, not inside, just outside, and says nothing. Just present. Just there. 20 minutes pass. Then the door opens 6 inches. Zara's face appears in the gap. She looks at him for a long moment, searching, measuring, the way a child looks at an adult when they are deciding whether or not the truth is finally safe. Then she asks the question that stops everything. Daddy, are we allowed to tell the truth now? Dorian closes the study door behind all 3 of them. No phone. No recording. Just 2 girls on the leather couch and their father on the ottoman directly in front of them, elbows on his knees, eyes level with theirs. He nods once. Zara speaks first. She tells him about the night 3 weeks before the arrest. Late. Past midnight. She had woken up thirsty and came downstairs without turning on any lights. She stopped at the bottom of the staircase because she heard movement near the study, the specific sound of the safe clicking open. She saw her mother. Both hands worked the combination. Fast. Practiced. Like she had done it before. Zola fills in the rest. She had seen it too, a different night, 1 week earlier. Their mother is counting the cash at the writing desk in the far corner of the study. Stacking it. Banding it. Moving it into a plain envelope with careful, unhurried hands. Neither girl had said anything because their mother had looked up once, directly at the doorway, and said quietly, without raising her voice, "What you see in this house stays in this house." Dorian does not speak for a long time. When he does, his voice is low and completely level. Did she ever say why? Zara shakes her head. But Zola looks at her hands and says the one thing that breaks the entire story open. She said she needed to know if Maris would take the blame. The room goes absolutely still. Not a test of loyalty toward him. A test of how far Althea could bend the truth, and who would break under the weight of it first. Dorian reviews the security footage alone. Study door closed. Lights low. 3 hours of recordings pulled from the estate's internal system, the cameras Althea had approved for herself 2 years earlier for what she called household security. Frame by frame. He finds the night Zara described in under 20 minutes. Althea at the safe. Clear angle. Timestamp confirmed. He watches it twice. Then he closes the laptop. There is no confrontation scene after that. No shouting across the dining room. No dramatic moment in the hallway where everything spills open in front of the staff. Just a phone call to his attorney the following morning. Just papers. Just silence. The divorce is finalized in 6 weeks. Althea keeps the Westfield property and a settlement that reflects 11 years. She keeps her accounts. Her contacts. Her reputation, at least the version of it that money can maintain. But Zara and Zola stay with their father. That part she does not fight. Maybe because she already knows what they saw. Maybe because some losses arrive before the paperwork does. Maris Okafor is released without charges. The timestamp discrepancy, the access log, and the testimony of 2 witnesses close the case quietly and without ceremony. No press. No public statement. The kind of resolution that powerful families purchase with lawyers and silence. She never returns to the Hale estate. She never calls. 4 months later, Tobias Okafor receives a call from a private medical center in Atlanta. His name has been placed on a priority surgery list. Full coverage. Anonymous donor. Maris sits with that information for a long time before she sets her phone down. She knows. She doesn't reach out to confirm it. Some debts cannot be settled with words. Althea is seen once more, photographed outside a downtown restaurant, alone, dressed impeccably, phone in hand. She looks the same as she always did. Composed. Controlled. Certain. But her daughters are not beside her. And the house she spent 11 years perfecting belongs to someone else now. She thought control was the same thing as safety. She thought if she held everything tightly enough, nothing could leave without her permission. But control without trust does not build anything. It only reveals, slowly, then all at once, exactly what was already broken underneath. If this story moved something in you, drop a comment below. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications, because every week on this channel, there is another story about quiet strength, hard truth, and the kind of people the world overlooks until it cannot afford to anymore. You do not want to miss a single one.